Keep your wheel on the edge of that dirt up through there. And just keep your speed up just a little bit. That's perfect. Alright, so I'm working on this 2021 Honda Pioneer 500, and I'm putting a grab bar on it, a passenger grab bar. So these machines, you can't buy one for this machine. I did a quick Google search, and I don't know, there was one for sale. I don't know if it was just a private party making and selling the grab bar. This thing has these two tabs here. I don't know what they're for, but they're going to be for mounting the grab bar on my machine. If you buy one of these saws, get a high quality one. This one is a Harbor Freight one, and it's a piece of junk. Alright, so I'm going to bend this top piece over here. This piece right here is going to be bent over on top of that square tube you see right below it, and it's going to be bolted to that. Needs to be hammered down some more. So I'm going to take and mark the holes that need to be drilled in this here. So I have a hole here, a bolt here, and two holes on the back bolting into that tab. Okay, so now that I've tested if this mounting bracket fits, it's time to weld it up. Alright, cool. That looks good. Alright, now this needs to be trimmed off on that black Sharpie mark there. And I'm also going to take the grinder and try to knock down where this weld here is sticking up a little bit. Alright, so here's sitting in the thing, and I feel like the grab bar needs to be, if anything, it needs to be high because it would hinder your getting in and out of the vehicle. So I'm thinking if I mount the bar right below this warning tag, that's going to put it just about perfect. Now that thing is actually stuck on there with adhesive. Right now, if I follow this square down, I know that that mark is going to be square to the vehicle and will be perfectly lined up in the center of this new mounting bracket. Probably a utility knife would have been better to cut that, but if you need to punch like precise holes in plastic, soldering iron does pretty good. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is find this angle. It's a slight angle that this tube is on, sitting on this mounting plate. Okay, so this is where I'm at on this thing. I found this angle here, and I have it tacked. So now I'm just trying to determine the best position for the bar to go. And kind of the debate is, you know, if it needs to go on the end of this tube or if it needs to go on the top. I'm leaning towards the top because of simplicity, and it's up a little bit higher. This X is going to be removed material, so there's going to be a cut right there. cover to cover this thing up here. I don't want that hole there. Alright, I think that does it for all the welding. So I'm going to come back and clean this up and kind of cut some of these hard corners off a little bit and get it ready for paint. Alright, I'm going to switch to a flap disc here to give this thing a smoother finish. I removed material all the way down and there's a crack right there, so I'm going to touch that up with the welder. Alright, so real quick, if you know anything about like dirt bike or motorcycle hand grips, they come in a set and the inner diameters are different. This one is the bigger one because it goes on the throttle tube of the motorcycle, which is slightly larger than the handlebar diameter. So I got 2 packs of these because I figured that I would need the bigger one, but the smaller one here fits this diameter pipe perfectly. Alright, check it out. I'm pretty happy with this. This turned out nice. The only thing that sucks about it is you gotta cut a hole in your dash. Look how sturdy this thing is too. I mean, that's great. So I'm sure the wife will really like that thing. I'm sure I'm gonna like it when she's driving too. Let's take a quick look under the hood at it. This hood is nice. You can just pop this thing. It's got the 2 clips right there. This is a view from the inside with good lighting. So, you know, just a quick recap. You got one center bolt, had to drill one hole through this rectangular tubing here, and 2 bolts on the back side. These bolt holes were already pre-existing on the frame, so only have to drill one hole here and cut a hole in the plastic right here, which is nice because this warning tag, you can cover up a huge section of that hole that you have to cut. So it ends up looking, I mean, I think that's pretty acceptable. That's nice. I'm excited about that. No one else has one of those. There's a guy selling them online. I think he was wanting like 120 bucks shipped, but they were different. It was a little bit lower. It looked like maybe it came out right here, which I think, for me personally, that's too low. I like it up higher. All right, I'm gonna include a price list at the end of this video here to show you exactly what I spent. And for someone like me who's pretty inexperienced at welding, you can figure, you know, about a day. I probably had about six hours in making this thing. All right, that's cool. Let's go ride. Okay, so this is actually one of my steel receipts, and what I did here is list the totals. So each piece of steel that I bought was a 20-foot section. So I had a 20-foot section of this square tubing, a 20-foot section of the round tubing, and of the flat bar, what I call the flat bar. And here is the original total of each of those. So, and then I had the grips, 2 sets of grips that equaled that amount, and bolts and nuts, and I just put in welding rod, and then $5 worth of diesel fuel driving around to pick up the materials. So in order, and I had leftover material from each 20-foot section. So I broke down how much the steel costed per inch, and this here are those figures. So for the square tubing, I used approximately 16 inches, and that came out to $4.48. And then same thing with the round tubing. It's not round tubing, it's round bar, but anyways. And then flat bar, and that came out to a total of $7.48. So here, after we add that $7.48 to the grips, bolts and nuts, and welding rods and diesel fuel, that comes out to $43.38, and probably about, I don't know, somewhere between 5 to 8 hours of my time to assemble it. So that's a pretty good deal, especially when no large company manufactures a passenger grab bar for the Honda Pioneer 500.